My people, what up, though? We back with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. My name is Chief.
And I'm Bell.
Prentice on the way, y'all. He doing whatever he do. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna tap in with us. So let's get right to it. Bellhead, check in, baby. How you been? How you feel? How you living?
I think I'm good, man. Did we record last week? I can't even remember.
Certainly did.
Yeah. I'm good, but I thought I'll share this quick story and I'll move on. I'm good, man, but I'm starting to understand the Massachusetts landscape a little bit better. I got a quote for a job that was basically I'm getting a media stand built. I saw it on Instagram. If I had my father come up here, me and him could probably do it. But I'm like, nah, you know what? OG going into surgery. I don't want to have my uncle come up because, it's like a small job for him to come all the way out here to do. So I said, let me just get some local quotes. It's a media stand, so maybe we can have Powell punch it in so y'all see what I'm talking about. Our media wall is what it's called. Basically, it'll be a TV, and below that would be a fireplace. This dude quoted me $7,700 to get this done.
I was talking to my homie today, and he was like, "Yo, could you imagine handing somebody $8,000 and he done 4 hours later?"
Yo, like my uncle, who's my contractor, renovated my house. I mean, he's done every house I've owned. He's done major renovations to it. I told my uncle, I said, "Unc, look at the video and tell me, if you was really trying to get somebody, what you would charge." Unc said $1,700.
He said $7,700.
$7,700. Talking to my neighbor about it. And then he referenced the town I live in. He was like, yeah, man, that's the tax. He's like, when you live out here, that's the tax. They come out here and they try to get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the quote was so high, I didn't even go back and forth with the dude. I literally was like, no, that's too much. Never talk to him again. Like, yeah. I didn't haggle. I wasn't like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? I was the only thinking about no.
That quote's so high. I don't even need a TV no more.
Yeah. Like, where the newspaper at?
Yeah, right.
Shit crazy. But that's all that's going on with me. I got a lot of odds and ends done around the house. I had my pops come up and bang out some stuff. He getting his knee replaced tomorrow. So I'm gonna catch up with him before surgery. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm good.
No doubt, I'm the same, man. The new gig is going all right. I hear back about my admin certification stuff on Wednesday.
This Wednesday?
Yeah, see if I pass that, and then
if you didn't, then what?
They're just gonna let me know what areas I didn't, and I gotta just redo them basically.
I wouldn't hire you.
You definitely would. Nevertheless, same as you though, getting some renovations done. My bathroom ain't got no floor. Like it ain't no floor in the bathroom. Like you gonna walk.
I got renovations done. He got demolition done.
Right. Like you go in the bathroom, you're gonna fall in the basement. Like it ain't no floor in there. So the floor was like mad uneven and like old and soiled or whatever. So he had to get rid of it and put a new one up. So he's framed it. He's got to later, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Did he bust the old one up?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did most of that yesterday or today?
Today. Yeah, so ain't no floor in the bathroom. Other than that, man, everything good.
I still think chief contractor a crook.
Nah,
but we'll see.
I'm recording a poem tomorrow. Remember I told you I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes trying to get ready for this Grammy run. And I'm just
when the Grammy stuff gotta be in?
September. But I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start releasing probably like I think June. I'm gonna go June, July. August, September, just kind of like heavy release with the poetry stuff in those couple of months. So I'm getting all out the way now. So I have the content ready already. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I feel like last year you kind of rushed it.
Yeah, I definitely did.
And that was your impulsive self.
Yeah.
Even though I told you, don't submit this year.
So either way, it's going to be dope. And I'm excited about it. So what are we talking about? Let's hop right into it. We're waiting for Prentice, y'all. He's going to tap in at some point. So y'all just go ahead. Damn, I need to look at my mustache. Look crazy.
You look crazy.
Yeah. Your mother.
True.
She probably gonna see this. Sorry, G.
No, she ain't. She don't be listening. Peach is the only consistent mom listener of ours. My mom, I don't know if my mom, I don't think my mom listened to it. She asked me the other day, y'all still doing the podcast. So I know she'll listen to it.
Hey, I did see something online though. It said that the average podcast only lasts 3 episodes. And those who go past 3 episodes typically crash at around 20. Don't make it past 20. We at like almost 80 now, bro. So we already beat the odds. So let's keep this train rolling.
Yeah, we did. We did. Shit, we coming up on our 3-year anniversary.
Word. So we need to start moving. We already know.
Did we start in 2020 or 2021? 2020.
2020.
The boss in 2021.
No.
Yep.
So we rolling. Yeah. Nevertheless, what we talking about, player?
We talking about doing it for the gram.
Do it for the gram. I ain't gonna do it. Let's do it for the vine. That was the vine, right?
Yeah.
Do it for the vine. Yeah. I ain't gonna do it.
Wow. Whatever happened? That's crazy.
Whatever happened to Vine? Vine still going? But did Vine turn into Snapchat? I mean,
no, I
TikTok.
Think Vine, YouTube took over for Vine.
Yeah, what I'm saying is Vine like TikTok now? Is TikTok the new Vine? I never had a Vine, so
I never had a Vine. I never had a MySpace. I never had any of that.
You ain't have MySpace?
Mm-mm.
You ain't get no hoes in college. That's where you got all the hoes at.
That's the problem. It was too much, man. It was too hectic for me, man. I wasn't good at cheating. So
yeah, I know.
MySpace.
You gotta. Never mind. Anyways, do it for the gram.
Yeah, do it for the gram. Just on the heels of this. I mean, obviously at this point, everybody's heard about Ja Morant and the gangster persona that he's portraying online. For those who don't know, Ja Morant got caught on live, Instagram live, with a gun in a strip club, and
waving that thing.
Yeah, I want to say it was Denver. It was Colorado, but I'm pretty sure it was Denver. And as a result, he lost endorsement deals. He got suspended for 8 games without pay. And now he recently has checked himself into a rehabilitation facility in Florida.
Yeah, I think that's all part of like the PR thing. Just, show the world you're going through this stuff. That's what his publicist or his team said, do, just to, show good faith.
No, I get it. But all because he was doing it for the gram. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Now my man's life is in literal shambles. Right?
Is it really though?
Bro.
He got suspended for 8 games and lost a little bit of money. Ain't like he ain't got a super big bag. He sit them 8 games out, come back, and probably lead his team to the conference finals.
Let's make this a practical situation. Chief Peterson, gets suspended for conduct detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get your pay suspended, but everybody knows in the district you got suspended for doing some dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then on top of that, you got to go around every school in the district and apologize. And on top of that, you have to check into rehab, right? Like that is annoying and in shambles, bro. Like the public disgrace. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like that. Like you had a recent move or change and you was tight. You know what I'm saying? So imagine having to go through all of that. Like, just let's make it practical for like a regular human being. A lot of times we say as normal human beings, oh, he'll be straight, he got this, or she'll be straight, she got that. It don't work like that.
He also got caught up in some other stuff though too. So they think he might be trying to like, I don't know.
They're talking about his entourage.
He was supposedly like waving guns at somebody he was arguing with or something like that. I don't really know the whole story.
It was his entourage allegedly pointed. They just said a laser. They don't know if it was attached to a gun.
Right. Okay, I do remember that. Yeah, that's what it was. My bad, Ja. I didn't want to mix your story up, make your shit even worse on you.
So he got that, and then you got the fact that he's waving a gun around in the club. It's like he didn't break the law. There's no charges filed. You know what I'm saying? But like, for why? You know, what do you have to prove? And again, we're not the first people to talk about this, and Ja won't be the first or the last person to do something stupid like this. But the argument that everybody was saying, is like, who's trying to, like Mace, Cam and Mace got this like sports talk show that they do, and he's like, Mace was like, he had a destination. He's trying to get back to where he came from. You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, who works that hard to go backwards? But I'm gonna say something real quick that, and then we're gonna get into the questions. But I had dinner with my new team in New York the other day, and I said some profound shit, and it just came to me, right? So Pete, and I'm not saying this is Ja, I'm just telling you that I said some.
So check it, right?
So I said some profound shit. So what I said, I was talking to one of my up and comers, right? And I was explaining to her, like, at some point, depending on your upbringing, depending on your circumstances, you may or may not have a chip on your shoulder at some point in life, right? I said, understand how this chip works. The chip is used to being the underdog, right? The chip is that little voice that helps you defy the odds, helps you prove people wrong, helps to keep you encouraged and to keep moving forward. The chip is always fighting from a position of defense, right? They're always on the defense. They're always fighting. I said, so what happens when you get to the destination, right? What happens? That chip is so accustomed to fighting, it's going to, so now you're not an underdog anymore. Right now you made it, but that makes the chip uncomfortable. And if that chip is still sitting there, it's going to get you back to underdog status so it can feel comfortable fighting again. Mm-hmm. So it's fighting one way or the other. It's fighting to get you there, or it could potentially be fighting to get you back, right? Because that chip on your shoulder only knows one position, right? And that's the underdog. So it's like, how do I get them back to this place? It's unconscious. You see what I'm saying? So when I said that, I'm like, damn, that's ill. Because a lot of people in life, and I read Will Smith's book, he talks about it with personal relationships, and I referenced it in a couple other podcasts, a couple podcasts ago. It's like the air is thin where Ja is. The air's thin up there. You know what I'm saying? And his people that he has around him, they're not used to that air. Right. So then, and they're also not putting the work in to be a part of that air. Whereas Ja is, but Ja can get influenced, right? He can let that chip talk to him and talk his way back down. So that goes into our questions. So the question is, how much is too much? Right.
I mean, and that makes sense. So in Ja's particular case, like the chip was used to ride the wave all the way to the NBA. So remember how we talked about, the levels and whatnot. So what's his now? What's he chasing now? The ring? Is that what this is about? Shouldn't he be focused on the ring, or is that not a concern of his based on?
That's the other thing. It's like, that's the other thing, like purpose, right? If the purpose was just to make it there, right. Now what?
Right. Make it there, get the bag. Yeah, that could be it too. For some people, don't really care about the ring.
So, but my point is, when you don't have something that's continuing to drive you, what's keeping you motivated, right? You can unconsciously self-sabotage. And I'm not saying he's doing that. I'm just saying one could. His actions would suggest he is, but nobody knows what he's going through, right? None of us have ever been in that position. So we don't know the pressure. We can speculate all we want, but we don't know the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the whole Kanye stuff, and you had said, if I'm your best friend, but I'm worth $1 billion and you worth 100 million, right? That's two different perspectives we're gonna have naturally, right? So you may not understand the pressure that I'm under, right? But you looking at like I'm your man. Yeah, you are. But you also don't know what I'm going through necessarily, right? Because you may not be able to relate, because I may potentially be in some places where you're not, and quite frankly, where you probably shouldn't be, and vice versa, right? Like you probably some places where I should be. but because I'm in these other circles, it's kind of fucking up my status quo.
You think he should? You think he can get some of his homies to perhaps go to the rehabilitation joint with him?
For what?
I mean, if they're gonna be to his detriment, then why not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's in the limelight, and it's not like Ja ain't Ja's a superstar. He ain't like a regular NBA player. Like, he's a superstar in the NBA. So I think if he can go to this rehab program, maybe bring his people with him.
That's like saying bring your people to practice.
What y'all niggas talking about?
We talking about
doing it for the gram and Ja Morant.
Okay.
Specific case, but so he's got to go to like a rehabilitation program, and he's apologizing and doing all this stuff, suspended games without pay and all that good stuff. And I was just making a suggestion, like, do you think he could bring his homies to the rehabilitation program with him? Because a lot of the stuff we would assume to be influenced by his homies, no?
Yeah, but bro, that may be who his homies are. The argument that they're making is that's not who Ja is. You see what I'm saying? So what am I bringing? What am I bringing my boys for?
Who is they?
The media. That's why we're talking about this. Nigga, we the media right now.
We are.
Yeah. So
no doubt. He was happening.
What up, Prentice?
What up, y'all?
Man.
So the question is, how much is too much for the internet?
The internet in like this particular situation is what sparked the conversation, but the internet is a facade for most people. Like some people live in a completely alternative world being on the internet.
They do, and some people are able to monetize that.
Right. That still doesn't mean they're living all as luxurious.
No, but that's not the question. The question is, how much is too much?
In context, what?
And yeah, in context to what? Like, what are we talking about?
How much is too much to show on the internet? Fiction or nonfiction?
I think it's relative, dependent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got, for example, I haven't, obviously, you guys are married, so it's different, but in my dating life, I haven't posted and don't post anyone, like, until it's like, even when it was significant, there wasn't any posts. Some people could be like, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? So it's relative depending upon the person.
You know what's ill? My wife and I, we don't have no relationship status on our Facebooks. They don't say married. Both of us are in our profile pictures or whatever, but it don't say like in a relationship with. You know,
so clearly that doesn't. But to some people that matters, bro. To some people that matter. Oh, you not trying to claim me? Rah rah rah. Why you got these niggas thinking you single? That type of shit. Like to some people that matters.
I agree. I've always been of the mind, like I said, man, I move like a criminal, right? Like I've always been of the mind, like I don't ever want too many people knowing too much about me. So I never really, I've been up until we got the Instagram, I haven't been on social media outside of Snapchat, but that goes away in 24 hours. I don't be doing nothing on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's why I struggle even with our podcast. Like we've gotten more frequent with our postings, but like showing my life and stuff like that, like I don't know. I'm always of the mind. It's like I don't want people in my business. But there's people who literally live their life on social media.
Right. And they make good money for that shit.
And they monetize it, right? Whereas I'm like, it ain't enough money in the world for me to now, I'm not saying that's the right way to think. I'm just telling you that's my mentality. I don't like to do it. Like I remember when my son was born, I told my wife, I'm like, listen, I'm telling you right now, if I see my son on the internet, I'm turning up. I don't give a fuck if your mom posted it. I'm telling you right now, make it very clear to all your family, all your friends. If my son ended up on the internet, I'm turning up, right? Because I didn't want him to have that exposure. I didn't, whatever, right? The internet is like, to me, is like it's like unsafe.
So how have you grown a little bit more comfortable with it? Because you post them every now and then, not as much as whatever. But how have you grown? What changed?
One, he's funny as shit. like that's the biggest thing. But think about where I post them, right? Like Snapchat, right? Or I'll post a picture on Instagram, right, with me in it. You see what I'm saying? Like I never post anything with just him. It's always with me in it. Because so not much has changed outside of the fact that one, I don't do it often, so that makes me feel more comfortable. And two, like I said, when I do it, it's in conjunction with me, me and my daughter, whoever. It's not just him, because I feel like when I put him on there by himself, it leaves him vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Now, vulnerable to what? Who knows? There's all kinds of creeps out there. But that's why I just don't do it. And again, I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm just telling you that's how I move. I'll give you another example. Back in 2010, 11, 12, something like that, I bought a Range Rover. That damn Range Rover was driven by my friends more than was driven by me. Like, Oz had to tell people, like, Oz was literally arguing with people like, no, this isn't my truck. This is Bell's truck. And I'm, well, you always got it. I just didn't like the attention. I didn't like any of that stuff, even though I always wanted that car. So I think that plays into how I feel about the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm like, it still makes me uncomfortable a little bit.
I never drove the Range though. I don't think.
I don't know why.
I don't think. Nevertheless, P, what's your thoughts on social media? How much is too much?
I agree with you. I think it's all relative. I mean, you got a lot of different types. It's the Wild Wild West. There's no parameters. There's no rules. There's no restrictions. No matter what type of person you are, there is a place for you on social media and the internet.
That's a fact. That is a
fact. It doesn't matter what you're into. So I think it's all relative. I know for me, things have gotten a lot more deliberate, especially with kids, with locations, with school. I'm very mindful of what's in the background if I'm around the house. We don't live at the spot no more, you know, obviously we moved, but the rooftop, I didn't realize that rooftop was as identifiable as it was. In that city. Not a lot of spots that have rooftops, and it's on a main street. So people started recognizing where I live based just off the fact that I was recording off the roof.
Wow. That's wild.
Kids started kissing on Justice when he was like 2 years old when they would see him. My mom had him one time in Kinko's, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, you're Prentice Powell's son," and tried to kiss him on the mouth. And so that was my introduction. Like, oh, this isn't the type of place that I could just do what I want. So I think it's all relative, man. But a lot of people escape reality too to be on the internet. You know what I mean?
That's another good point. That's another good point.
People whose lives are better online than they are in real life, so they need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it supplements for the shit they don't got in reality. So I really think it's all relative.
For sure. There was a thing a while ago I was reading about in the metaverse, you know, the rich lame cat who then, you know, who wasn't really good in person, but had some money on the metaverse and bought the house next door to Snoop. So he's Snoop's neighbor in the metaverse. So he's popping now online.
That's wild. That is wild concept. That is a fucking wild concept. It's like surrogates. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember that movie with Bruce Willis?
Mm-hmm.
I never saw it.
It was a trippy movie. It was predicting the future. It was essentially what's going on with the metaverse now back then, where people could create avatars and live in this world, but their bodies were synced up and hooked up in the house, and all these crimes were happening and different things were happening. But yeah, it's a wild place where you can virtually live next to somebody famous and become famous off of that. That's crazy.
Sure. How do you feel as it pertains to relationships though? Like like I said, I've never really been one to like put the relationship out there. And even when I was in a significant one, I might have posted one picture. I don't know. I feel like that is more of a reason for people to like, that's where like the envy and the hate and stuff come from. Like, success with poetry is cool, but like when they see you happy, like that's when the haters really, you know what I'm saying, when they really start to go crazy. Pete, I was looking at online today, you know, I love a good joke or whatever. Shorty, I think I shared on my page, Shorty was talking about how she she's at a restaurant and the waiter's like, yeah, leave a review so people know what's up. So she leaves a review like, yeah, Meek the service was awesome, all because of my guy Meek. I'll definitely be back. And his shorty was in her DMs like, oh, since you flirt with my man at the restaurant, you can have his whole ass. I'm like, what?
No,
Like,
she
wow.
said so. She gave him
him a Yelp review.
No, but the girlfriend or the baby mom gave the reviewer his phone number in the comment.
That has nothing to do with social media. Shit to do with social media. But if they was in a restaurant and somebody stared at him for too long, she would have something to say. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very good point.
So just another platform for her to express her insecurity. That ain't got shit to do with social media.
Or it amplifies it.
Yeah, right.
And that's the thing. I mean, the accessibility that comes with social media nowadays in terms of like, you ain't worried about your shorty going to the store and somebody talking to her because she gonna hold you down or whatever. But it could be hundreds of niggas in her DMs every day.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
But you know what though? Like that don't bother me.
The dudes in her DMs are just
that don't bother me. Like
I don't think it bothers me. I'm not one like who's like I just give you the benefit of the doubt and trust you do the right thing. Like that don't.
But there's a safety component. Like I didn't know that story. I don't know. You said it was Justice that it happened to. Like I didn't know that story, but there's a safety component. You know what I'm saying? Like you start doing stuff with people that you care about. Misery loves company, right? So if somebody wants to do something to you, for God knows why, right? Like God, people like you, like Prentice said, that might be one of the illest bars that we've had on this, in my opinion, on this podcast. Was like, no matter who you are, there's a place for you on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is real, and that's the thing is like I'm always safety first. Like I'm always looking at it like safety first. Like the dude, I'm like that. And again, I'm not saying this is the right way, but I'm like that in corporate. You know what I'm saying? Like people like, oh, Bell, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I'm just like, nah, man. Like, y'all don't need to know all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't need to know all of that because once it's out there, you can't take it back. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is the right way to go. I'm just telling you this is how I operate because you can't take things back. You know what I'm saying? Like once it's seen, it can't be unseen. Man, you know what I'm saying? So like your location, Prentice, right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. But you got people that like they are super supportive / fanatics, and they'll pull up. You know what I'm saying?
They will.
Pull up. Like, and I just
I've had people recognize where I live and be outside like, yo, I'm by your spot. Hi, I know you live around here. And I'm like, my nigga, don't do that shit.
that fandom shit is real.
Yo, it's crazy. Because
we talking.
Go ahead, Prince. Nope.
I was saying 2009 when that happened with Just. So 2009, he's almost 2. You know what I'm saying? And technology is way more advanced in 14 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it's all about the lessons. You know what I'm saying? In your experiences, and then you kind of got to try it to figure out how it works for you. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill, I feel like we're watching you navigate now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the conversations, and then when I see the post, I'm like, okay, he's working through some shit. Like he finding his pocket. I think you got to find your pocket with this, depending on what you're doing.
I've always been. I saw a post a while ago, and it said something like, "If I post where I'm at, I already left," and I kind of adopted that to my thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll share those memories, but like, I typically have done it with like vacations. Like we go to Oakland at your wedding and whatnot. That's different because we in the moment or whatever. But like, I'll post that a week later. Oh, you out here? No, that was last week. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were going on the birthday trips, bro, like I didn't really post in the moment. It was like weeks later, or, you know what I'm saying? When we went on the next trip, I posted the previous trip. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of.
I never thought about it like that, but that's exactly what I do.
The ride put me on to that after we started seeing notices about, cats getting robbed and and home invasions and shit like that. You never know who's paying attention, and depending on what you posting on the gram, you always posting your crib, and you got all this nice shit, and somebody gets a location, they see you out eating in San Francisco, and you live in San Jose. Shit, you got an hour and a half till you get back to the crib. You know what I mean?
Like, no, for sure. Didn't somebody it was a rapper recently, like they was talking about his shorty posted where they was at and they ran up on him.
Yeah, but that wasn't true though. That wasn't accurate. It was.
But I'm just saying. But I'm just in general, that was the theory behind it. They posted where they was at. Somebody ran up on them, and who was it? Though? I don't remember. PNB Rock. I wonder.
Yeah. After that happened, Sarai really got hyper aware of that and really like kind of drop that in my ear, like, man, regardless of how much, it's not about followers, it's about just what you have versus what people may want. And so I stopped posting where we were at in the moment locally. I don't do it anymore. It is the concept where if I post it, we're most likely already the fuck up out of there. If it's something remotely close to being intimate or, just something to think about, like, we'll wait.
Chief, I remember when you got your monogram license plate. And I'm like, yo, why would this motherfucker do that? Like that was my thought. Like, I'm like, you ain't gonna be able to hide. Everybody know where you at. You know what I'm saying? Like
I got mine. My shit said, "I'm a king." That was my license plate on my last car. And I couldn't go nowhere. Because if my shit is parked, you don't see this black and yellow ass license plate. I'm a king, and God forbid I'm somewhere I ain't got no business being.
I was about to say black and yellow. I'm a king on the East Coast, boy. That could bring some smoke, man.
I'm telling you,
like that could bring some smoke.
The Latin Kings, huh?
Latin Kings, they black and yellow.
I'm thinking my fraternity colors. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't off that shit, but it's really marked. It's notable, man. And so now they have these things. I saw a post yesterday where a woman was talking about how, like Instagram and all these things have these new features where they automatically start to post your exact location depending on post. And what you have to do is, unless you don't see one of these notices of people putting you on alert, you got to go through all these setting parameters to take and turn it off.
Yeah.
It's wild.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't know. Like even when I was talking about the project I was getting done at the house, I didn't mention the town I live in. Like, if you peep that, I said, yeah, that's the tax of where I live, right? Everybody else I speak to, I reference the town,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But it's unconscious for me right now, or for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I remember like maybe it might have been a couple months ago. You like got into detail with I think where you work or what you did for work. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, damn, I don't think I've ever said that on a podcast. We've talked about work a million times. You know what I'm saying?
It was with Kevin on Stage.
Yep.
I was with Kevin on Stage, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever referenced what I do. Yeah. Yep. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's unconscious. I don't realize I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it.
So
I think, but I know you already talked about it, but I think with Ja Morant, I mean, it's just another case of a young cat doing some dumb shit, but society has created a lane for that to be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats do that type of shit all the time and have no second thought about it until there's consequences.
Yeah, I don't think society as a whole is tripping about that. I think it's more, the league and all that good stuff. But society's like,
no, it's because, like you said, he's a superstar.
Yep,
he's a superstar. Like, that's it. Like, I can't think of any names right now, but like, you know how many times it's probably happened with the 11th player on the bench? Nobody hears about that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a superstar though. So like that's all it is, man. Like if Brian Scalabrine was still on the Celtics and he did it, nobody would talk about this. You know what I'm saying?
Like Plaxico Burress reached out to him. Like, look, bro, take it from me. Yeah.
Careful.
Yeah, chill out.
See, that's the difference. Plaxico Burress had a damn gun in New York City. They
Right.
don't give a shit what the circumstances is. You got a gun in New York City, you going to jail.
Like, you going to jail now. That's funny. So has social media been more of a detriment as much as it's helped people?
I think it's helped more than it's hurt, personally.
You think so? There's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes that like have ruined relationships, ruined gigs. I mean, think about it. Whoopi Goldberg said something the other day. She said, well, this is on the show. So she said, use the word gypped. And I'm like, what's so like, you know, people like, oh, you got gypped. Apparently that's super offensive to the gypsies. I had no clue, but I learned about that. But it's just like,
I found out too.
But like, I mean, that also shows the case of sensitivity for people, but like, I just, you know, I get it. But she offered a big time apology and people were super, super offended by it. And it's like,
Dude, here's what I know. Like, I sent it, shout out to Donnell. I sent Donnell a Key and Pill skit. And the skit started off, it was a black man, a white woman, and a gay man. And the HR person, whomever, was like, okay, guys, we're gonna go through some things. He's like, okay, folks, we're gonna go through some things, and just raise your hand if I offend you at any point. And as soon as he said that, they both raised their hand. All three of them raised their hand. Right? They all had something that they were offended by just by him saying, raise your hand if I offend you at any point. I say that to say that people are always going to find something to be offended about. Right. And I'm not saying they're not valid. I'm just saying there's always going to be something that offends people. All social media does, the platform, is it gets it out to more people. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, social media is Facebook is a, what, $100 billion company? Like something stupid like that. Right. Like, I personally believe social media has done more good than harm, personally. Because you think about all the technology we have, the advancement, the connectivity, all these things that we have. Now, granted, social media is a dark place, right? It's called the dark web for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's things on there that are less than becoming. But I think as a whole, I don't think social media is a detriment more than it helps. My personal opinion.
I guess that's, you know, again, subjective, because there's plenty of people who've been harmed or hurt or lost, you know, who lost. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So
well, you think it's a more dangerous place?
I just feel like you said, there's a place for everybody on it, from, you know, the most elite celebrity to the pedophiles. Like it goes, it's a place for everybody on here. And there's so much that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like I was learning about a high school kid who the school used, because he was so good at computers, who the school used to see if he could hack into their system, into the school joint. It's just like, you just never know who knows what and who can do, you know what I'm saying?
He got paid.
No, yeah, he works for the district now. Gave him a job.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Take my talents to South Beach.
Word. So how much is too much? There's no answer. It's just subjective.
I think, you know, here's my answer to that. When you lose your identity, is too much.
There you go. That's very fair.
So the question to that is, do they know? Are they aware that they've lost their identity? Because now their identity is social media.
I was going to say,
people are finding their identity on here, or at least creating it on here. I really do. I think, like, you're talking about the whole gyp thing in Gypsy. I feel like if you get enough people to agree with you, you have a movement as far as social media is concerned. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dumb as fuck to me. I'm sorry. It's stupid as fuck to me. I may be being insensitive and not know certain information, but there's always something on the internet.
This podcast expressed by Prentice Power, not the views of All Black Men Need Therapy. Those views are Prentice Power and Prentice Power's alone. Thank you.
Prentice Power. Fuck he said. But I feel like there's always room. There's always room. You'll find somebody mad at the same thing you're mad about on the internet if you complain long enough.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of people who are looking for something and may not
Acceptance.
realize it, and they gravitate to this. Now this becomes part of their identity.
Yeah, but the internet is a savage. Like it's just mean, bro. Like I could like P, no lie. Like I've seen stuff where it's like, oh my God, Prentice Powell's an amazing poet, and like the 457 posts. Yeah, LeBron James sucks. It's like, the fuck, like that ain't even no connection to that. You know what I'm saying? And people just find a reason to just be negative on social media. And if you scroll down any list of comments, you'll just see somebody being like for why? Like,
you know,
I
just got into reading comments like a couple months ago. Like I didn't know that was a thing.
Be careful.
I mean, I don't post enough to read my own comments. I mean, to get like an influx of comments that I don't read. But
speaking of that, we need to go through. We need to like split the episodes up. P, you take the first 30. Bell, you take the next 30, and we
I respond. I probably respond more than both of you next.
Yeah, we need to, because I know there's some comments that we haven't seen. That's probably some people hating like you spelled triggers wrong.
Yeah, that might have been the worst one to date. Yeah,
people be bugged out, yo.
To date. No, again, from the YouTube joints that I be going on and viewing, there wasn't nothing like egregious. That's what I'll say. People have opinions on things, you know what I'm saying, but nothing egregious. But yeah, man, I think the people who end up losing their identity and or finding their identity on the internet is very dangerous.
So the question that you posted, is it possible to live in both worlds?
Yeah.
Like, do people like really? I guess so, because we essentially
I think the short answer is yes.
Yeah, it has to be, because some people
I would say there's this is me just guessing. I would imagine there's more people who don't than do, though.
I don't know, because those who are actively using social media as a form of income may have completely different persona. Okay, prime example, chick Pretty V, comedian chick. I watched the interview with her the other day, and I was like pleasantly surprised. Like she
personality.
Yeah, she's like really, really chill. Like
I don't know who she is.
Like it was
a lot different than her on camera, on stage persona.
Her character is like a ratchet ghetto chick, and she's just like nonchalant, don't care about nothing. But she's funny as hell. But like her person, I was like, oh, she's dope.
Yep.
Like her person is real cool.
Yep.
Oh, I never even heard of her. You know who the first time is this like Rick Ross ex-girl or something?
Is she?
I don't know. All the pictures I see is with her and Rick Ross. Anyway, yeah, maybe. You know, the first time I realized that, the first time I heard John Witherspoon do an interview, all I've seen is like the ghetto dad that, but John Witherspoon is well, God rest the dead, intelligent AF. Like, you hear him like speak, like how articulate he is and how much he's a student. Like that's the first time I realized, this is before social media, but that's the first time I realized that these are characters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember watching Boys in the Hood when I was young. I really thought Ricky died. Like, I thought Ricky died in real life. Like, I was never going to see Morris Chestnut again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
for sure.
But that's the thing. Like, there's people can't separate art sometimes.
And that's what I mean. Like, can they do both? Because I think some people have adopted this personality from online and carry that into their main life, thinking that, they have to be that person.
Well, if you think about it, society is really creating the internet to where you don't have to leave it.
Yeah.
Like you said,
yeah.
Their career, they earn their money on the internet. They're creating these metaverses. They're distorting reality. That's the purpose of it. It's giving you another place to be. I seen some shit yesterday where you could be purchasing virtual tickets to go to these rappers' concerts and stand next to them on stage.
Yep.
And people are paying for these experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like they're creating more things. We got an Oculus in the crib. You know what I'm saying? And every once in a while I get on it, but I see how you can be stuck on that shit for 10 hours straight, living in a different world.
Yeah, there's a shorty who like I think works at like Foot Locker in the metaverse. Like for real. Like her job is at Foot Locker in the metaverse and she gets paid for that.
Wow.
Hey, listen, Black men and women, people, I don't knock any way that doesn't hurt anyone that you make a living. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I know social media has its benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it has its benefits, but I also know that people can create a false sense of reality. Like Prentice said, like, they go to an alternative universe, like literally and figuratively, right? In some cases. So it's just, I don't knock them. I just, if I could find a way to monetize it, I would probably do it, provided it didn't require me to lose myself. And that's the thing. I think some people lose themselves.
Would you be willing to? So there's several families that just go around and film the dynamics of the wife, the husband, and the kids, and make millions.
No,
that wouldn't be something you would consider.
Like, I don't know, man. I just don't. You know, it's like, look, man. I was brought up in the '80s. It's like, don't be running out there telling people our business in this house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's kind of how I operate. Like, that ain't nobody business what goes on in my house. You know, even if I can monetize it, and my wife's a life coach, you know what I'm saying? So she's on social media a lot, you know, but she has a business that she runs online. So, like, I get it. So she's doing a live, I don't know, monthly, right? Where only time I did a live or went on and recorded myself when I was high on them drugs after my surgery. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just not me. But that's the thing. You guys are also performers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's but we're still who we are offline.
Yeah, I'm not saying you guys you don't assume new personas.
Yeah, I did.
You said you do?
No, I did for a long time. My last relationship, that last marriage, the internet, I actually would if I'm thinking about it, the internet was part of the reason why I stayed so long, to tell you the truth.
Why? You don't want to disappoint your supporters?
I became relationship goals in that relationship.
Yeah.
And even though it was a facade.
It was shitty as fuck in reality.
The internet didn't know that though.
You said what?
No, he said even though it was a facade. I said the internet didn't know that.
Didn't know that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I distinctly remember like several like Black love goals, you know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. Like they would show him wild love.
Yeah, and so that gave me hope that maybe this shit could be what they think it is, you know, or because I'm showing it and they're interpreting it this way. Maybe there's just some other shit I ain't doing that I need to do. So let me feed off that while this shit sucks in real life. But this social media world and relationship goals is getting me through it. So then what I would do was every time we argued, I'd post a picture. And it became like by the third year, every time we argued, so I'd have hella pictures of us because we was always fucking arguing. But everybody would say relationship goals. So I'd read the comments and lo and behold, go back in the house and try to work it out.
See, but that's the problem. That's part of the issue with the internet. People go there to seek validation.
Right, exactly.
Like, and that's what you're looking to do.
You need on the daily basis in order to operate in this reality. You get what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what it is, it's a drug. It can be a drug. It can be very addictive.
You know what's ill? You know what's ill to me? And this may be this may be another reason why I don't post a lot. If I would have seen you posting like that, I'd have been like, oh, it's trouble in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, Chief, you and I had a conversation about somebody in their situation recently about this. Mm-hmm. And I told you, it's like, I think it might be trouble in paradise. And lo and behold,
Lo and behold.
Right? It was. And because again, I don't think you're alone, Prentice. Like, I don't think you're alone. I think that's what happens, man. We seek validation. And what also happens is, I'm sure you can attest to this, people want to disrupt that too.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? People, like, they want to disrupt that. Oh, that ain't relationship goals. Watch
that's
this.
what I'm saying. And that's,
you know
that was my point earlier. But you
There's
get that, go ahead, P.
No, I just said there's a lot of that. That's all.
Yeah, so there's a lot of situations where like those pictures go up and we speculate, and then all of a sudden, ain't no more pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gone.
Even the relationship.
Even the relationship. It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, you was fronting. But then you have those ones where it's like, you've seen the memes where it's like, you know, Shorty posted her third king this year. Like, bitch, what you playing? Spades? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? See that one? You ain't see that one? It would be like, yo, you better post the same dude that you was have matching Christmas pajamas on for Valentine's Day or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, she Trump tight.
Right. So it's just, you know, just be mindful of when you posting these things, because you can give yourself a label just by.
But that's the beauty of the internet, right? You can do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's also that.
That's the
because
thing. That's the beauty of it.
Even if you're the one posting and taking down, there's a million of you out there, and now you found your pocket.
You found your people.
Now you found your people, and you're trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Oh, the internet is a savage place, fellas. I think we think we've assessed that. P, we gonna wrap it up. Bell, what's your final thoughts on the savage ways of the internet?
Get it how you live, man. That's all I can say, right? I can't knock anybody who getting it how they live, right? If you living on the internet and this is your life and you getting paid from it, get it how you live. If you living a low-key life off the internet, not looking for validation from strangers, get it how you live, man. Like, I'm not here to knock nobody's hustle as long as it's not hurting nobody. So it's just not. I'm gonna do is sell some merch on the internet. Like, I can't monetize my life, man. That, I don't know. And maybe that's a draw, right? Maybe the draw is me not wanting to do that, and maybe that would make me more money. I don't know. I just can't. That makes me uncomfortable.
No doubt. For me, I think it's just be careful.
Has to be more careful.
Be careful, because you just never know. You just never know. And what's crazy is little things like I was going to the bodega one day, and I parked the car, and MJ was with me. I'm like, baby, you wanna come in and wait in the car? She's like, no, I'm not staying in the car. You see that white van over there? And I'm just like, she's like, yeah, I saw that online. You know what I'm saying? So she knows about the people getting snatched up in the white van, but it's like, so social media teaches, but it's also showing her the dangers of it all. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful. She's aware. Man. Right. But now she's aware. So just be careful and monitor your kids' stuff too, because it's just some creeps out here. Yeah. P.
Aside from this being the shortest podcast I feel like I've ever done,
so how was you get here late?
Yeah. I echo you guys' sentiments. But I'll also just say, remember to continue to find the value in reality. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's deep. That's deep.
Your base being not on the phone. You get what I'm saying? Like, just stay rooted here where you have to wake up. You know what I mean? The place where you fall asleep and you wake up, I think, is a place where you should be the most grounded. Do what you're going to do, but just stay rooted in reality.
Yeah, social skills are a thing of the past for a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
Hopping on the internet, awkward as hell in public.
There's a quote I would say a lot in 2021, Prentice, that speaks to what you say. So much so that my team got it put on a matter of fact, I got to put that up in here. Maybe I'll bring that to the set. But anyway, it says, no matter where you go, there you are. So it may take a little bit to sink in, but I'll say it again. No matter where you go, there you are.
Boom. you still gonna be you wherever you at.
No matter where you go.
Yeah, for sure. Anywho, per usual, y'all like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We can be found on all social media platforms at All Black Men Need Therapy. Email us at allblackmenneedtherapy@gmail.com. Website coming soon. Merch coming soon. Level up coming sooner. Do us all a favor, y'all.
Like, I don't even like talking about that.
Do us all a favor. Hug a black man today. Come on, Prentice. You're killing me.
Do it. I was late. The delay.
No doubt. And tomorrow.
No, let's do it over. Let's do it over. Do it over. Do it over. That don't.
Yo, when he did that, you know what that reminded me of? The Living Color skit. The promoters, when he was like, "Here's my
Howard.
card. Yeah, I'm fresh out," and then Howard be like,
"Bam!"
That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
Now.
Per usual, do us all a favor and hug a black man today. He muted. That's
No, he said it.
It's late as hell. And tomorrow.
Do it. Do it.
Yo, get you a better Wi-Fi connection. We out, y'all.
Peace.